What's up? What's happening? I'm back. What's going on, everybody? K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405, where I'm just a regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers out there. Oh man, it happens every time that I have a Windows update that it gives the little choppy like sound wave voice thing that I get when I start the stream. Anyway, we're live as promised. A little bit later than what I anticipated. I had a doctor's appointment. Was there a little bit longer than I thought, but I am here and ready to finish talking some more stuff that's related to gaming as always. Now, while I say that, I want to contradict myself, and I got to say this. A big shout out to OKC Thunder legend Russell Westbrook. He announced his retirement today. I was kind of hoping that he would get one more last run with the Thunder, like sign him up. But again, this, that, and the third, who knows? But you know what I'm saying? Like Russell Westbrook have his statue out there by the new stadium when that's going to be built. Zero's going to get put in the rafters, will never be used again. So shout out to Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Thunder legend. Anyway, let's get it popping. All right. I guess where I want to start is with this Xbox 360 emulator. Like, I mean, now there's been emulators for the 360 emulators. There's OG Xbox emulators. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've even worked or have a Series S or X emulator of some sort on the PC. But this is different. This is an emulator that is being made in the hopes for Project Helix, to where they can ship over 360 games, and also the idea of people's library being installed into Project Helix of some way, shape, or form, like turn it into digital of some way, and then it will be stored into your Project Helix going forward. So therefore, you'll have access to playing with the 360 games. On top of that, like even on through PC, if you won't have a Project Helix, that they'll still be available to you, maybe through something from Game Pass, or also just the game being available to be purchased. That's crazy. That is insane. That is exactly what you would want to hear, especially for now the way Xbox is kind of presenting themselves with this hybrid like console. That's going to be more like a PC, but have like console features, which is going to have that ease of a console. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be really, really cool. And then the big gotcha though is what Cypher said. He says, can it still get healed though after I visit the doctor? Whoa. He said, oh, you got an ear infection, bro. Yeah, might need to get that checked. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your ears to be messed up. Anyway, I thought you was relating to me when I was saying I went to the, when I said I came back not too long ago from my doctor's appointment. But anyway, but get that ear checked and fixed, bro, for sure. But anyway, for the Xbox situation, I think the question is going to be what games will be available. Now, I mean, in a perfect world, there'll be every 360 game that could be, but we know better than that. It's going to come down to licensing, all these different types of things, because it's not only just going to be because a lot of these studios is already going to be shut down or have been shut down, or you no longer have access to the music in some of those games, things of that nature. So it isn't going to be as easy as we think. It's just kind of like with the backwards compatibility situation that we have with Xbox now. Like we have way more games than we ever thought we would get coming from the OG and from the 360 to where we could play on our Xboxes now. But you want to try to have that 360 library pretty robust. And I know that there's still the Reddit Xbox page where you could go and give out there, because they'll let you know what like do a rating system, like a voting system, and they'll let you know of how many votes that they got, and you can do that like I think it's like 7 to 10 times a day in a sense. Well, I'm sorry, not 10 times. You can vote for up to 7 to 10 things every day. So like you can just do that. Like you could do it today, starting it off if this will be the first time you go to that page, and then you could just vote for you go through. And I mean, like there's tons of games in there that you can look through. From the 360 and OG Xbox. I even think that I think it's like some Xbox One game in there. I don't know if there's any Xbox One's games listed in there. I think it's just only OG Xbox and 360 games. And so you'll know right off the bat how many because they'll have the vote count for it, and it'll be. And I don't know if they'll have like a top 10 because I know that GOG has like a top 10. They're doing the same thing as well, but. That's why I'm kind of getting them mixed up because I haven't been there in about a month. So I need to go back on there while I'm reminding myself, while I'm reminding you guys. So yeah, go check it out. Go make those votes. And so again, at least those top games will be transferred over. It was no different than when they first started the backwards compatibility thing back last generation. They had a list of games that people were asking for, and as you see, that's why you were getting the Call of Duties, you was getting the World at Wars and things of that nature, and Black Ops 2 and stuff like that. Those were games that were looked at for that was very popular. And you got like some games that got slid in that may not was really high on the list, but still came in, like Ridge Racer 6 and other titles. So it you know what I'm saying, it's very effective. If you go in there and you vote for, you know what I'm saying, even if it's the most niche game in there, you'll be surprised there'll still be some votes for those games. I've definitely voted for damn near every fighter that there possibly can be. But also for some other games in there, like, you know, the 50 Cent's Blood on the Sand games. I know if you want to try to buy those games right now, those games are really expensive. Even if you try to go get them off of eBay, I think the cheapest I've seen for that game was for either. I think one of them is not as expensive, but I think it's Blood in the Sand. It's the one that's like $200-300. I think the cheapest I've seen it was 150 some bucks. So yeah, so like, you know what I'm saying, if they alleviate that and see if they could try to bring that game over to be backwards compatibility going into this next version of backwards compatibility for Xbox, Project Helix, then that game is going to drop like a rock in price, and you can get the hard copy at some point. So yeah, that's another part of it as well, because there'll be people that like, they know if there's really niche title, like maybe Wolverine. I got a great deal on a Wolverine. Now, see, this is what was crazy, because the Wolverine game for the 360, it was pretty expensive, but I went ahead and I risked it all and I bought a used one. It was scratched up, so I had some scratch filler and stuff like that, and I was like, man, and it was only like it was in bad shape, it was in rough shape, and so they were selling it for like $19, which was still criminal, but I was like, let me go ahead and just try to go ahead and hit this up for a dub and see if I could come up on a win. And sure enough, I tried to play it, I put it in, and it booted up. And then it completely crashed because it was scratched up, was scratched to hell, which I knew what I was getting. But I put the cleaner on it, you know, put a little sealant, let it sit for about 2 days, put it in, and it worked. It played. And so the first and the best thing, one of the best features ever, which, like I said, the 360 is one of the best consoles, if not the best console ever created. You can download your old games into the 360. You could download your hard copy games into the 360 and they'll get locked into the cloud. So that's exactly what I did. So all the games, all the hard copies that I got, I just downloaded them into my 360. So those games should be able to be transferred regardless of whatever. So that Wolverine game, and I went back and I played it without the disc. It booted up, played fine, played about an hour of it. I was like, okay, we winning. So that, as long as it gets the full download to it, that game is stored in there. And I think that's definitely what the Project Helix is going to do. So that's why I keep bringing up the fact of like, listen, if Xbox is going to be really, really smart with this, have an option for the Helix to have to where you can implement a hard drive. I think from here until we find out the more information about the Helix, I'm going to say it every stream, even when I'm even streaming Fight Night or any other game, I'm going to just repeat it. I think this is just going to be my little little segment that I'm just going to just preach it to where hopefully I can wish it up on a star for real. Like I really think that would be a smart decision. Now, if they got some kind of workaround to where, or even if they do have a version of the Helix that will have a disk drive, that's even better. But I would think that the best solution is to make it optional. Which if you had like two different versions of the Helix, that's optional and that's great and that's fine and that kind of kills the middleman. But if you was trying to save money and just only have the Helix as a digital box, have a port to where people can connect, if not third party disk drive, or if Xbox want to kind of make one for themselves, make one, to try to make a little extra bread or whatever. Make one so where you have a port in the back of the Project Helix to where you can have disk drives to be to run. We could run CD-ROMs and boom, you can sit there and link and put your digital imprint into those games and all that, and then have that installed into your console, and then you could play it. Have it play anywhere, whatever, however it's going to work, and you're winning. It's a win. It is definitely a win. So yeah, that is definitely something that needs to be done. So I think, I don't know if this is right from what I'm seeing from this, but anyway, it looked like it's streamed differently. Oh yeah, no. It's doing whatever. It's the right one. I was just reading something here and it was showing yesterday's topics. But anyway, so I'm just looking at that situation and I'm really excited about it. I really am excited about it. I want the more games from back in my old library being dropped. It's great. I've seen that there's a sale for Ridge Racer, for the original Ridge Racer. And for the Archive Arcade, that's where you can also get the original Tekken, which the original Tekken has never been on Xbox before until just I think about maybe a month ago or so. And so I seen that. I went and I copped it. The nostalgia was real. But it's the arcade version, so it's mad crazy hard. So be prepared for that. But it's still, and it also just shows like the evolution of where like Tekken is now to where Tekken was then. And so like hopefully they can bring some like Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tekken 4, through the arcade version of it. That would be fantastic. But the one thing when I was bringing up Ridge Racer, oh my goodness, if they could bring Ridge Racer 4 R-Type. Please. That I have it on PlayStation, but it's still. I could. That's one game I probably would never stop buying. If it was a new iteration of it just pop up, I would cop it. I love that game so much. And yes, it is, you try to play it graphically, it would look a hot mess. Graphically, just look at the old school. But the one thing that will always make me keep coming back is the music. I love that soundtrack. I love the Ridge Racer 4 soundtrack so much. It is one of my favorites of all time soundtracks. I love that damn soundtrack, and it makes me play it just because I just listen to the Lucid Dreams or the Silhouette cut, like bro, or even the damn theme song. Like I love that damn soundtrack for Ridge Racer 4. So just for that, I would like for them to bring those games on there. So like they got a lot of heat from the Archive arcades. And so I check them out more often than I usually did because some of the stuff that they was like, man, I don't even know what this is, but still, and it's a little pricey on top of that as well. But they got a 30% off sale, so go check that out. So yeah, but that's what's going on. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. Sorry, that's really all I wanted to kind of touch on with the 360 games for PC. I mean, it's. We'll find out more about what some of these games is coming on. We've seen that they dropped some OG Xbox games, Blinks, Crimson Skies, which I already had that. I have blinks, but I have it on disc. So and I've never played any of the Conkers, or I've never played any of those games. So it's just like I never played Conker, and I never really I've seen my kids play Banjo Kazooie. It's not something I know that people go crazy over those games. They love them, and I'm not mad at people. I just never found the interest in it. But I mean, just for the mere fact of just wanting to show support, I'll go ahead and I'll cop the and I mean I got the rare, like whatever that rare collection was that came out last generation. I got that, and I understand the Ratchet and Clank nuts and bolts. I mean, not Ratchet and Clank, but Banjo Kazooie, all that. Like, there's multiple games in that collection. I just never had the interest, and I know a lot of people want it, so I want people to get it. It's just, for me, it's just never been something like Spyro. I never really played Spyro. My son used to kill Spyro. It looked fun, but yeah. Now, Crash Bandicoot. Now I'm with Crash Bandicoot. I like Sonic. I like Mario from occasion to occasion, but it's just like, you know, like I'm all right with some platformers. I kind of stay away from other platformers for the most part. Just different. But Simon said Ridge Racer 5. I mean, Ridge Racer 5 is cool. Nah, man, give me Ridge Racer 4, bro. Give me Ridge Racer 4 before you do 5. That's what you got to do. For sure. But anyway, there's that list, and there's a bunch of classics that hopefully that they can bring. I mean, they're going to be bringing something. Hopefully, like again, that when we seen the Transformers Cybertron game, I've seen some of those Avengers games, some of those X-Men Apocalypse. You know, those type of games like that, like, yeah, those games definitely need to make a comeback. I would like to see X-Men Dimensions, stuff like that. But again, it's all about the licensing, you know, the music, all that type of stuff. So it isn't going to be as easy as people think, but for whatever they can, I'm sure that they'll bring it on, and we've seen it before. So I have full trust that they'll do it right. So anyway, let's get to the next topic or whatever. I don't want to be too long today. I want to talk about this Elder Scrolls 6 situation. Like it blew up once Arsha last night brought it up. It was like before I did my thoughts last night, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, you know, so the game is already playable, and the way that she sold it, she was like, hey, it was huge in scale, this, that, and the third. So it brought a lot of excitement, but I do have two questions on this, right? So for one, and you guys got to help me out on this. It's just like what the header says. Is it one of these games, because you hear about the rumors about like that Xbox might try to restructure some things with exclusivity, I mean with Game Pass, right? So the first question is, do you think that if this game is exclusive, will it be day one on Game Pass? Is it too big for Game Pass? That's the first question. And second question is already kind of basically if when I was asking the question, if it's an exclusive, will it be an exclusive? Will Microsoft keep this game off of PlayStation hardware? Or is it too big? Is it too big for the game to not be an Xbox exclusive? I mean, to be an Xbox exclusive. I don't know. I think this is one of these things where you get your get back, honestly. Because I feel like it was, if anything, was the biggest fail. Not so much for the Halo remake. Halo should have never went over to PlayStation regardless. It should never happen again after these abysmal sales on PlayStation, which again, I talked about it a little bit, but still you can't contribute to the fact that it doesn't have its multiplayer, but still Master Chief Collection should have been a better send off to the PlayStation, and nobody, I don't think, would even care, because that game has been out forever. It's over a decade old. It's got all the games. It brings back the nostalgia, all that. So I don't think anybody would tripped on that. But putting in the remake and not having multiplayer, I think that's what hurt the sales on PlayStation, plus other factors. But the biggest fail to me is Fable. Fable, absolutely not. should not be on PlayStation. Halo, Gears, Forza, and you already got Halo already on there. You got Forza, so now we just have to contend with that because Forza has actually just become an iconic racer franchise. So it was a bet that won. But this Elder Scrolls 6, this should definitely be one of these things to where it needs to be that get back. Hold it, keep it, and do not dare put that on a PlayStation platform until PlayStation wants to bend the knee. But PlayStation is on their demon arc, so fuck them. Just do what you got to do. I guarantee you, this will sell consoles. Elder Scrolls will push consoles, or people will buy PCs or build PCs, or it's going to get its money back, no doubt about it. Just from the Xbox and PC community alone, it will hit. I can't remember what game actually just did that. Like, there was a game just recently that just was on Xbox and PC. Oh yeah, no, it was Forza. Forza. Is Forza on PlayStation yet? Is Forza 6 on? Is Forza Horizon 6 on PlayStation yet? I don't even know. I know it was delayed, but I don't even know. But it showed right there. It didn't need PlayStation. It sold enough. Elder Scrolls is going to do the same thing. That right there. And then another thing that it showed me too is that if Arsha's already playing the game, and of course, like I said, she's selling it. I mean, of course, we're talking about a game that's been out, like it's a 15-year-old game. We're talking about a game that's just as old as Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Maybe a little bit older. So, of course, the anticipation is going to be nuts. Yeah, Sekiro. Sarah and Phil messed that up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Phil is the head, so he had to sign off on it. It was like what I mentioned yesterday, though. Phil's hands was tied for sure because of the ABK deal and the four horsemen of apocalypse, Amy Hood and that squad. They want their money, and so that's where you know what I'm saying. But again, it was not a good deal overall. Like, I mean, you seen like the Trojan horse effect of it that has benefit certain games, but for the most part, like just like Xbox is just like not even, like not slow, making it a slow burn. They was just like on the rip, just throwing everything out, starting off when you found out about, and then like the disrespectful way that things has been approached, especially starting off with last year with Indiana Jones and how that all happened. Like Keeley just sit there and spilled the beans right off the bat. Like it's coming to PlayStation on this time. Like that was like killing all the momentum that the game was going to be on Xbox first, right? He brought up the PlayStation version first. So it's going to be on Xbox, but it's going to be on the PlayStation. So again, it embarrassing. And I don't know how Indiana Jones sold overall. I mean, and I wasn't even tripping about Indiana Jones going over to PlayStation. That's kind of different to me. Starfield should have never went to PlayStation. As much as they dogged, as much as the stands and certain people in the media and other and saying and then just the lies that was brought up. They kept lying until it actually happened. Like they were just knowing that it's coming out here. This is when PlayStation, the State of Play is going to announce Starfield. And they did, it was for like 3 years, damn near 3 years. And so then it finally happened. So therefore it can't be considered a lie yet, but still, yeah, it's you know what I'm saying? Because really, how will people want to approach Xbox Helix if the game if the game is already on everything else, right? If it's already on PlayStation, it's on PC for sure, and then it's coming over to a new console, because this sounds like to me this is going to be like maybe a launch title for the Project Helix, which would be insanely huge. Which hey, just think about just put this in the scenario. You got potentially another Halo that could drop in the beginning. You got Elder Scrolls 6. You're going to have another banger somewhere. I'm always going to throw it in because it needs to happen. I'm tired of not hearing anything now, because I was hearing some stuff in the Rumble, being rumbled around, but now I'm not hearing nothing, making me a little nervous. But anyway, but another Killer Instinct as a launch title. Just those 4 games alone would get a lot of attention, all exclusive. I know that people but that's because they want Killer Instinct that bad. Killer Instinct didn't need PlayStation. It didn't need it sold enough. It sold enough. People will come for Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct will be in the fighting tournaments. Killer Instinct is going to have its love. Maximilian, the one of the biggest content creators that talks about fighting games, he will definitely help promote that game. He helped work on that game on 2013's version. So Killer Instinct will have its place, no doubt about it. So why not keep it exclusive? I know that there was people over here clamoring for it. Well, the Xbox sales, blah, blah, go back to the drawing board. So that, for me, if you have those 4 titles, and I know that it's hypothetical for the Halo and for the Killer Instinct, but this is the way to sit there and to get the consoles to get moved. Period. And it's a get back for Fable and Starfield and Halo being on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? No. So with that being said, my theory on it is is it too big to stay on Xbox? I say absolutely not. It's perfect to be an Xbox exclusive. Xbox owns the game. It owns the rights. So show it. Show some aggression. Push that shit. Guarantee you'll make your money. Even if you don't make the money right off the bat off the Xbox crowd, you will definitely make the money back on the PC crowd. But I just don't see why this game wouldn't sell like hotcakes, and why it wouldn't drive some desire from some PlayStation gamers out there, and from disgruntled PlayStation gamers out there that's over here saying that they're not getting a PlayStation 6 because of the change that Sony is doing with PlayStation. So we'll see about that. I don't know about that, but we'll find out. But that could be a great deterrent for people that's sitting there that's like, I don't know, man. I really want a game. I want a console, but man, I'm mad at PlayStation. Oh, Elder Scrolls? Okay. All right. Exclusive? Okay. All right. Now, if they look at it from a standpoint, if they already got a game in PC, then they winning. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is it seems like a no-brainer. It has to be an exclusive. Not a timed exclusive, an exclusive. Locked in, no budge. Right there. No timed exclusive. I don't care what Todd Howard and them say. Listen, the money is going to be right regardless. You're going to make all that money back from expansions and every damn thing else that you're going to be doing in it. So there's no reason to sit here and be like, but we get to play. Yeah, you'll get that. And then what? That's still not helping the brand overall. So let's see what Sekiro's saying. He's saying, and what's going on with you, Husky Akage? He sit there and he said, it should not be exclusive. Well, I don't know what it should be exclusive. Yeah, he says no more Halo. Yeah, no more Halo on PlayStation. And Sekiro says, nah, Mega, they should have never gotten them games. It's a slap in the face to Xbox players. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's when you sit there and say what you said. They should have just released Black Ops 2 sooner. That's 8.2 million on re-release. That's nuts. Well, I mean, again, like that was fine, and you're also right. Yeah, the people are on the multiplayer of Black Ops right now, on Black Ops 2 and on the other Call of Duty that they dropped. So like, yeah, so Halo was definitely in a bad spot. It was definitely in a bad spot, which tells me, what did you learn from this Xbox? Stop it. Even though we know that there's going to be the trilogy remake, if it doesn't hit over 1 million on PlayStation, don't waste your time porting it. That's my thought about it. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I understand it still 600 and some thousand copies is still some bread, still quite a bit of bread. But by the time that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to go on sale here pretty soon. And then definitely by Black Friday, you'll probably get, if Halo Remaster does not get over a million copies, then there's no need to be putting the second version or the third version of the remake on anything else except for Xbox or PC. You know, I mean, if you want to dabble and try to throw it on Nintendo, I don't know. You could thought it out, but it still is not going to be. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right. You know what I'm saying? There's just the legacy titles, and that's what I was saying. I didn't have a problem with Project Latitude. It's just the problem I would have is if the legacy titles would go over to the competition when we're not getting any of their legacy titles. And that to me is just it shows weakness. So, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like I felt I'm like, it's a smart move overall because you generate more money, but I've always been against putting the big 5 or 4, or, you know, if you got a new game that drops and it blows up, you know, that's why I'm like, timed exclusives for new Xbox titles to drop. New titles that drop on Xbox, make them timed before, and then see how those sales work. And then if you want to put them on PlayStation, port them over, then and Nintendo, that's fine. But still, I don't know. It's definitely should be a give and take, not just give. And then you see the stuff that's going to happen with Fable, where they're going to go against another PlayStation. So Sony's going to try to suffocate the game from doing better, getting better sales, or drawing a big audience. You see what I'm saying? That's a slap in the face. So, in my opinion, Husky says if it's exclusive, it doesn't need to be in Game Pass. Okay, so that's the next thing that I'm going to say, that I'm going to bring up. Is Elder Scrolls too big to be in Game Pass? Now, I say, and this is me being very logical about this. I would say it's not too big to be on Game Pass, but it would be too big to be in Game Pass day one. I would say you do the same thing with Elder Scrolls VI, like you did with what you're doing with Call of Duty 4. I just feel like at that point right there, that game is going to be highly demand. It's going to be great demand. So get every, you know, and I mean, and it's not. And this is another thing too. It's not like it's going to hurt Game Pass either. Game Pass is still going to be sustainable and do fantastic stuff of what it's been doing. It just will, you know what I'm saying? If you got to wait 6 months to a year to play it, then if somebody's willing to wait, then they're not into the game like that. You see what I'm saying? It's no different than how like people was bitching and complaining about this move that they were doing with Call of Duty, where this new Call of Duty was coming out like 6 months to a year later. On Game Pass. Well, the people that's doing the bitching, all they did was play the game for the single player. And if you never, and then like, even in those comments where they were complaining and saying, well, that's why I don't even buy Call of Duty. I only played Call of Duty for the story mode. Well, you just exposed yourself. You're not into Call of Duty. See, you did twofold. You showed the importance of Game Pass because you went and you downloaded the game. You went through and downloaded a huge ass file to play just the story mode. And that alone shows that Game Pass gave you the interest. So that's why I say Game Pass is very valuable, regardless of what some of these yahoos say in the gaming media, or some of these ex-devs or executives and shit like that. They don't want us to have any value. That's the bottom line. They want us to get raked across the coals and pay as much as we possibly can and have no say so into anything. So anyway, Game Pass gives us leverage for sure, to a degree. And so anyway, with Elder Scrolls 6, yeah. I mean, listen, if let's say I'm not huge into Elder Scrolls, right? And Elder Scrolls is not something that I'm like totally all into like that. Like I've bought the game twice. Have I beaten Elder Scrolls? No. I got my homeboy that got turned on into, because I let him borrow Elder Scrolls, and he that's what turned him on to ESO. And I've told that story before. Like my homeboy, that's all he plays. He's now just now starting to play different stuff. He said he was going to play Beast of Reincarnation, and he didn't even know about the Halo thing, which that's kind of wild to me. Like, I'm like, bro, it's like on your box. You didn't see, like, man, I didn't even see it. And that's another thing too. Like, see, this is another thing. Like, I'll get to the advertising part here a little bit later. But anyway, my homeboy didn't even know about the Halo remaster or remake. He did not know anything about it. And when I brought it up to him, and he's the one that introduced me on Xbox. Like, he's the one that bought the Xbox. He's ex-military now, but he got it and had me and a couple of homeboys play Halo. Because he knew I'm more of a gamer than what he was, but he was like, man, I need to learn how to work these controls, man. You got to show me. And I told that whole story a million times, but he's the one. But and when I told him about it, he was like, what? And I was like, man, we could run it back. And he was like, oh, hell yeah. So he said he was going to get ready to download it. So when I talked to him yesterday, so that's, like I said, I'll get to that point about the advertising, because it is wild to me that he turns on his Xbox, he plays it damn near every day, and he did not know that there was the remake. Something's off, right? And that's a lot of people. The people that don't pay attention to that watches the channels or pay attention to like just the gaming stuff like we do. These people, they're in the dark. It's crazy. So that's why I say like the advertising stuff is very important. But even though I wasn't like really, I've never beaten Elder Scrolls. I know the importance of the game. I did not hate the game. I enjoyed the game, actually. It's just that like I got caught up into other games. Like and so I was like, oh, I'll get it eventually. So I'll play it and I'll beat it eventually. So it's just like for me though, when they drop this, when they announced when this game is going to drop, I'm getting it day one. I'm even hearing that they're going to be doing maybe a remake of the first game. So, well then let's go. You know what I'm saying? So let me get familiar with with these games and jump in and dive in, because it's not like I don't like these type of games. I mean, you see my gameplay of Avowed right here. I beat that, had a great time with Avowed. I'm over here playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm really loving Baldur's Gate 3. So it's like I really dig these type of games. It's just that like if I jump into something late, then I'm kind of like, oh man, what was like the first game like? What was the second game like? You know, whatever. Like, I mean, we're talking about this would be the 6th iteration. So that's why I kind of wasn't into it, because I was like, I need to know what's happening before that. But whatever. I just feel that for a game of that magnitude, it should not be on Game Pass day one. If they do that, that's great. I mean, then they have utmost confidence that they're going to rake in every bit of change that they can. But I feel like at this point in this juncture, if you have a huge game like that and you're going to lock it down on Xbox as an exclusive, I don't think anybody should bitch and complain. And if the people that do, they're most likely that tells you that they're not going to buy that game day one. That's just somebody that just wants to be a part of the FOMO. And I feel that that's and they can't be listening to the people that's all that keeps bitching and saying, well, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that. And then you don't even buy the premium edition. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to play any of these games and you want to show some sort of support, at least while you got Game Pass, especially if you got the Ultimate Edition, get the you know what I'm saying, get the premium edition for some of those games. Like, I mean, it ain't, you know what I'm saying, they're usually $20 now. Forza was nuts. Forza was I'm like, damn. But anyway, with Forza, you know what I'm saying, it's the shut up edition for me anyway. So it's like, wow, it's like $60 for the what's called, but people pay for it because they know what they're getting with the product. Fable, I'm buying Fable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's going to be on Game Pass day one, but I'm finna buy Fable. E-Day, I'm going to buy the shit out of E-Day. That's not, the shut up edition will be done. There's no question about that. So, but yeah, there'll still be some games that I'll drop that I'll just get the premium and then I'll wait for a sale and then I'll go buy those games later. But I feel like for Elder Scrolls, Yeah, no, let that cook for about 6 months to a year, then drop it on Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? For big titles like that, you know what I'm saying? Have a reconsideration. Now, let's say the new Halo game. Okay, Halo needs all the love it can get right now. Um, it's not at the forefront of where it used to be back during the OG and the 360 era. But Halo's still relevant. That's the, you know what I'm saying? Halo is still relevant. And that you can't say that for a lot of shooters out there. You just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you can sit there and talk about, I mean, Halo is one of the oldest shooters out that's still have a strong fan base. Um, so I would say you keep Halo on Game Pass day one. It'll over time make its money. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't be a problem. But like, let's say Gears 6. Well, it's according to what Gears E-Day does. Oh, Husky said, he says, K, why they crying on Twitter, which boots shaking about ES6 being exclusive. Kane, let me explain something to you, bro. People, see, this is the shit that, like, I get it. You know, Phil and team, they you know, they're everybody's cool with each other. There's not like no beef like the console war, like weird beef or whatever like that. These guys, they've been working in this field for so many years. So they've worked together. They've chatted together. They've eaten, have had lunch, dinner together. You know what I'm saying? Set deals. So it's not like that. I would think that some of these people are good friends. But this is different. Arsha is, you know what I'm saying, like, she's over here trying to revive the brand of Xbox. PlayStation is over here not trying to be your friend. All these executives that used to know each other, there's been so much turnover at PlayStation, and now there's been turnover at Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's been like usually from different staff people or heads of different studios. But now we have like a whole new staff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now the turnover is here for Xbox. So things have to change. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody can still be cordial and cool with one another in a sense if they meet up and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, it's business at the end of the day, but there has to be some sort of aggression from the Xbox side. That's what made Xbox be sustainable and do the things that and stay alive for longer than what Sega did as a console maker. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, well, and I should say in the United States, I don't know how long Sega has been around as a console maker through its whole time being around. I know it's been an arcade maker, but like, you know, if there was any like Segas that was made before the Sega Master System, I think that's what it was called. The original Sega that came in the late '80s, here in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we go and look at the life of the life expectancy of what Sega was for the United States, or I should say in the West, to now. Like, Xbox has surpassed that. So I don't want to hear this craziness about like Xbox is doomed, it's going to close down, it's going to be over with. If Xbox decides to be, if the lights get shut off, it's going to be Microsoft's decision. It's not because it's going to be not because of popularity. It's popular enough to still keep going. No, has it dwindled in sales? Yeah, there's been all different types of factors that's happened that's caused that. But in this situation right here, this is where the resurgence of Xbox could definitely happen. You got to take the bull by the horns with this. There's so many factors to go ahead and to do. And when I get to my last topic, I'll bring up that scenario. But for right now with this, the exclusives matter. It shows. You see the demand for it. You see the want-to for it. You got to understand that this console is going to be very expensive. So if you're going to have an expensive console to draw in people, because you're going to have competition with other expensive consoles, plus by that time, Nintendo, there ain't going to be no reductions. You might get a sale here or there for these consoles. But even the Switch 2 is still going to be expensive, but it's still going to look more lucrative than the PlayStation 6 or the Xbox Project Helix. So they got to put all of this consideration. So if you're not going to be competitive with the price, then you gotta show the hell out. You got to show the hell out. There is no ands, ifs, buts about it. You have to let it rip. You got to have, if Elder Scrolls 6 could be a launch title, that would be massive. Announce it to be exclusive, not timed exclusive, exclusive. That's going to be massive. And there will be people that will bitch. And if you sit there and say that it's not going to be on Game Pass day one, it'll come 6 months to a year later. So what? Let them bitch. Make your money. Because you're doing the gamers a solid by doing the things that the gamers has been asking for. Let's get back to the original recipe. PlayStation's doing it. Nintendo hasn't really changed what they've been doing. So it's no time for the kumbaya. The kumbaya era is over. You know what I'm saying? So like that right there is what I'm basically trying to say. The kumbaya era, it should be over, done with. It's about preservation. It's about the brand, having pride within the brand to make sure that this brand it flourishes for another 25 years. None of that other stuff. So it said, well, thank you, next phase. He said Sega Mega Drive. I said Mega System. That the Mega System, that was Nintendo, wasn't it? Okay, in Japan it was the Sega Master System. Oh, so I was right. Okay, I thought it was the Master System. Okay. It was the Mega Drive in Japan. All right, thank you, next phase. So I knew that, but I didn't know if there was any consoles before that in Japan. I didn't hear that, but still. But again, that's what just bringing up about Xbox I don't want to hear that bullshit about they're not sustainable. They are. So it is a time to where it needs to be where, you know, if Fable does decent, it's the only way that you can sit here and you could justify any of these games still going over to PlayStation is what you've seen with Forza. So Forza's thought it out, but it's making so much money. It's going to make so much money. It's making so much money that it doesn't even matter at that point. So you know what I'm saying? It started off as a thought. Now it's a OF fan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's making millions. It's making billions. So it's solidified. It's doing its thing. But like if Halo Remake, ew. Okay, you beat Soros. That ain't saying too much. Even not saying that Soros is a bad game, but obviously the PlayStation community didn't want it enough. So or didn't care about it enough. And so like if this game did like if Halo Remake does not get over 1 million on PlayStation, do not do that. I mean, if they're under contract, then I can't say shit because we'll find out. You know what I'm saying? Like they're locked in on the 3. But I mean, but hold up. We can sit there and we can talk about contracts can definitely be broken. Because Square Enix sit there and told Sony, yep, nah, because they had it locked down to where they were supposed to have the trilogy, right, for the Final Fantasy remakes, but the sales were not up to par. And then when you seen that Rebirth and Integrate did really good on Xbox, it just made the point even more valid. And we probably won't ever see Final Fantasy be exclusive again unless it's bought out by a Sony or Microsoft, or I would say, or Microsoft or Amazon or something like that. But even Amazon, they would have to make a console. And I don't think anybody is going to be in the console making business anymore. I think it's over. I think Steam Machine might still keep trying to keep continuing to fail because they keep shorthanding themselves. But I think, yeah, like, let's just say that Xbox did eventually shut down. Well, it's only going to be 2. I don't see any other makers trying to come out and trying to do something. Are you seeing ColecoVision trying to do something, or Television trying to do something? You know, but it's QT stuff. It's trying to be to where it's trying to get some kind of traction. is very affordable, but then the games that they can't sustain for how much the money that they got to pay to try to have any of these big titles that comes on the big three onto a new console. You have to have so much money, and I don't see Amazon wanting to do that. I don't see Google trying to do that anymore, like what they was doing with Stadia. Cloud was something that was important. Maybe they might try to go with the cloud stuff again, but it's over for consoles. I think after the big three is the ones that's going to hold it down, and if the big three is out, then that's it. So until maybe another phase after that's well beyond our lifetimes, to where they might try to bring the consoles back in some capacity, kind of like, some older things go away, and then like the record, it went away, and then they brought the record, the album never really fully died, but there was a little resurgence, but still, what I'm saying, it'll still be niche. It's not and maybe one day the album will get back to its prominence, but yeah. So I just think that we're in a weird time with the consoles. But with that being said, Xbox want to preserve themselves. They're going to have to make these. They have to make these right changes. Now, if they, like I said, if they put Elder Scrolls VI on Game Pass day one, then that means they know something. So, and I ain't mad at it. I mean, let everybody play it. You know what I'm saying? Have the options to play it. I mean, people are paying into the service. But I don't know, that's a huge game. And then when you're looking at other big games like that, then going forward, then because Call of Duty is going to still hold on to that. Going to hold up to that standard now. So this Call of Duty is going to be really, 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 really popular. It's going to sell very well. A lot of people are excited for it, so it looks dope. So that should give more motivation for anybody else that's saying, well, we don't want our games to be on Game Pass day one from Xbox Studios. Then make your game out of fucking sight. Except unless it's a new game. If it's a brand new IP, doesn't matter if it's a AAA or not, you're going to have to get more eyes and hands on it. So it has to be in Game Pass day one. So I don't know, but that's just my thoughts on it. I don't think that it should not ever go on Game Pass. That would be ridiculous. But yeah, it should be definitely delayed, and it should never be on PlayStation or Nintendo for that matter until the PlayStation and Nintendo wants to do the kumbaya. It's just that simple. Let me see. Let me read a couple of comments. It says Activision Blizzard made them mad money. He says it. He said he made mad money for those games. Okay, all right. So yeah, no. I mean, Diablo. I'm not tripping about Diablo. Could Diablo be a console seller? Yeah, but it's made so much money. I'm not mad about that. You know what I'm saying? And that's a really big game too. But I'm looking at it from the standpoint of okay. For instance, Wolfenstein. See, Doom is more. I would say Doom is more popular than Wolfenstein. You know what I'm saying? It used to be. I don't know. I don't know. You got to ask me about that. I like Wolfenstein better than I like Doom, to be honest with you. But I mean, experiment on Wolfenstein. You'll see the stand sit there oh, I don't care about Wolfenstein, whatever. But I mean, that's another game that can draw some interest. I mean, it's just, to me, it's all about the title. If you do another Starfield, man, you know what I'm saying? It should have never went to PlayStation in the first place. It just shouldn't. It just shouldn't have. It was. I don't know. I don't know. So whatever. That's my thoughts on that. Okay, so let's get to this other topic, which is Sony getting sued again. And this is crazy because what I was reading. Okay, so it says right here, it says Sony is facing a wave of major antitrust lawsuits and consumer complaints across 5 countries. including the United States, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Portugal, and Mexico. And I know that they settled with Brazil, and they're about to settle with another country for, I think there's Australia or something like that, or whatever. It was like for seven point some $million or whatever. Saying over its digital marketplace control and plans to phase out physical game discs. So it's like, and so they're out of these countries that's got Sony in a lawsuit. There's the Stop Killing Games initiative to sue Sony now, and they're in cahoots with some other group that is basically just going after him for saying like, man, this is anti-consumer. Now, the one thing that Sony could have in its favor is, and that could fight it, is because there's some places that's saying, and I think it's that with the what is that group called? I just said their names. Stop Killing Games. That's that group. They're trying to go for them and their other group is trying to go and say that it's a monopoly. Well, Sony can sit here and challenge that, and I think that they could win that. Now, where they can't win is how they're policing and locking their games behind only into their like infrastructure. So, because this is the thing, like I've seen people that was trying to say, well, they don't go after Xbox or Nintendo. You can buy Nintendo games on different sites. You can definitely buy Xbox games all over the place. You can find deals. You don't have to go to the store. And then one thing that I say that what Xbox is doing smart, they're learning this from Steam, is like, okay, they know that there's different entities out there that sells their games. So how about you have a sale? And they have a sale damn near like every month now, like sometimes even twice a month. So that's smart. But Sony don't want to do that. And that's where I think that Sony can get themselves in a lot of trouble. Now, the one thing that they're hoping on and they're banking on is that it is just like what I was bringing up about my friend who didn't know that the Halo remake was even out, even though he's, you know what I'm saying, like he plays on his Series X damn near all the time, like damn near every day. He just didn't know about it. And that's when I'm like, okay, so you got people that gets pissed off about ads and stuff like that. Well, for people like that who don't really, they just turn on their box and they just hit play, right? Like you got quick resume, it just quick resumes right into the game that you was playing, right? So unless, since it's like ESO is more of a online game, usually you got to kick back and start back up. But he's not looking at everything that's posted all around him. He's just looking and focused. And most gamers are just looking and focused on that particular game that they're playing. So that's why I say for advertising, Microsoft's advertising has to be better than just that. It can't just be having some content creator sit there, because there's millions upon millions of people, like a PlayStation and Xbox gamers, that do not pay attention to what some content creator says. There's content creators that somebody will bring up. It happens every time, like at the VGAs. I'm like, I never even heard of these people before, and I'm in this field. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's not to take away. I mean, obviously they're popular because, they're being granted a reward for being a popular streamer. But I mean, that just shows you how vast this stuff is. And then when people are over just trying to play their game and they're not caring about the listening to content creators just talk about video games, then there's got to be other ways to get these people's attention. And it's what the things I've said before. A lot of people watch Adult Swim. A lot of people watch sports. That's where you'll really get them, is you catch them at sporting events, WNBA, the NBA, the NFL, the hockey, even other type of events that even doesn't even would spell that you would talk about video game, like, the Oscars and stuff like that, like something that will have a mass gathering of people. Pay that goddamn money and put that game up there. You know what I'm saying? Or advertise Game Pass. Have something out there that gets people to be paying attention. Like there was really no, I haven't seen any ads about Halo remake at all. Only times I've seen it is just like there's an ad that'll pop here. Like if you look on Facebook or Instagram or on Twitter or something like that. But it's not anything that like if you're watching a commercial and you're seeing like just a 20-second clip of you know what I'm saying, or a 30-second ad about stuff. Like TV still matters, people. Like I don't know why people still think that this new and this is where like okay, people go overlook analytics and they swear that this is where it's at, and this is where they make the biggest mistake. You still have, believe it or not, the boomers do play games. They're older, of course. Gen X, I'm a Gen X guy. I'm Gen X. My Gen, you know what I'm saying? We are the ones that are at the forefront that sit there and play these games heavy. We understand about Gen Alpha, millennials and Gen Alpha, Gen Zs, or whatever, Gen Zs and Alphas, whatever. But the thing of it is that like the people who are probably making the most purchases now are the older millennials, the Gen Xers, and the boomers that sit there that like to play games. So to sit there and boomers, Gen X, and millennial and older millennials watch TV. Because even if we don't, like, I don't watch a lot of TV shows and stuff like that, but listen, my wife, her friends, all like they're all on the TV. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, when I do watch TV, it's usually sports or something on Adult Swim, or you know, Toonami, whatever the case. Well, that's part of Adult Swim, I think. But all that, like, you know what I'm saying? If you want to put something else in, like if you got something that's more kid friendly, then put that shit on Nickelodeon or early in the morning for Blue's Clues or I forget that damn Blue Cat. I be cracking up on that. Gumball and shit like that. Like you got there's millions upon millions of people that still watch TV, regardless of what people say. Yes, there's so many more people that looks at stuff on the internet, on the phone. But if you're not going to advertise that in a way to get to those people, because the way the algorithms work now, they're not going to ever see it. You know what I'm saying? So again, you got to do better with that. You definitely got to do better with that. So, So that's my point on that. But it's more for this lawsuit. Sony, going back to that, Sony is trying to bank on, for like what I was saying, like my a lot of people, a lot of my homeboys, they don't pay attention to all this little stuff for like the advertising on this. And maybe they might see it pop up on something if they just have it on and they're not looking at it and they're like, oh, what's that? And they'll click on it and look at it or see the ad for that particular game or whatever. But I will say that too, also like when you turn the game on a PlayStation, like for their game that they really want you to see or to know, they let you know. So like for Wolverine, and letting you know. Like Xbox got to do it, and Xbox have done that, especially with like Diablo. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? So E-Day, they got to definitely do that. COD, they do it really well. So, but it seemed like just with like the Halo remake, it just wasn't like, it just kind of like was thrown out there. But what Sony wants you to do, what Sony wants their fan base to do, is to not pay attention, to not feel the crunch of them paying their prices. Because if they're only just buying these 2 games a year, 2 to 4 games, let's say 2 to 5 games a year, and they're seeing that they're paying a little bit more, they'll bitch about it. But it's not like they don't know that there's lawsuits out there. They don't know that there's been other competition that's over here that has cheaper options for them to say, oh, yo, what is Sony doing? That's what Sony's banking on. Sony wants you guys to be, what do they call them? Bank eyes, whatever, fools. Bank eyes, I think that's what it was. They want y'all to be fools. They want the content creators to sit here and keep bragging about how much digital is out there than physical. They want these content creators to get out there and to shit on people saying that they're going to boycott. They want that. They want that. They want the fan base to keep talking about the sales numbers and the 2 to 3 to 1 compared to Xbox, and to how PlayStation games are more superior than Xbox games. They want that. They constantly want that out of them. They want conversations about the console war instead of them actually just thoroughly disrespecting their loyal user base. And that's what they're banking on. And there's some of these fools out here that's just riding with it, just like, man, listen, man, the boycott ain't gonna work. It's this, that. Well, this is why Sony's smart. This is why they know that they got a clip of games that's going to garner a lot more attention than this stuff that's going on here. Now, they were expecting to kind of be swept under the rug because the gaming media isn't talking about it like it normally would if this was something that's going on with Xbox. As you notice, there's been layoffs everywhere. You get an article or two about the certain layoffs that's going on all across the gaming space from all different types of studios, but since it's not Xbox, they're not overly dwelling on it. And it's the same thing like with this whole thing. Like it ain't going away for what PlayStation is doing with the disc stuff, but they're not going all in and being aggressive on wanting Sony to change their directive. There's some writers out there. I was listening to one group of game journalists that said that they opposed it. They thought it was shitty. Well, that's good. You need a lot more than that, but still. For Sony getting sued like this, and there could be good pushback from the gaming community, then Sony will change. They ain't got no choice but to change, because if they lose I would say more than that. If they lose 10, 15% of their user base, that's gonna hit their ass across the pockets. So you would want people to sit there and to say, listen, of course, if you mad about it, there's going to be people that's not going to give a shit about the boycott. They're going to still buy games digitally and do whatever and just say, if you broke, you got to have the money in order to sit there and to play the games, all that dumb shit, right? But the reality of it is, if everybody is in unison about this isn't a good look for what Sony is doing, on top of these lawsuits, it's gonna affect them, and they're gonna make moves. So but it's up to what the gamers are gonna do. Like, I mean, listen, I already told you, I don't even care. That PlayStation 6 could be the best PlayStation that they've ever made. It could be the best console that's ever made. I'm not interested in it. They've already made enough bad, dumbass decisions for me to sit there and to be done with it. If you sit there and you take the games off of PC, anything that you make is still not going to be equivalent to what my PC runs. So why do that? When I'm willing to spend the money to buy your games, well, okay, then fine. That's all right. So you want me to buy a $800 to $1,000 console. Now, if they try to be affordable and which reasonable, I just don't see it being reasonable whatsoever. But so I'm just saying it's $800 to $1,000. So you want me to get this console? Yeah, it'll have some cool features. It'll the new kind of controller be a little slick looking device. But is it going to produce better than my PC that I'm running right now? No. Is it going to produce more than the Xbox? Than the new Xbox? No. If it does, it'll be slight. It's not going to be a massive jump. So what's my reasoning for getting it? For what? The few PlayStation exclusives that they do drop? I'm good. They all have the same kind of template anyway. I like that in moments. It's not like it's something that I desire to have. Yeah, I think Wolverine will be really fun. I think that Luffy looks fun. But is it something for me to go and to pay an extra $10 to pay an extra $10 for, on top of getting a new console, for you to sit there and it's not. It's to be so far in between. Now, if you popping out 6 exclusives in the launch, which I think they're going to have a really strong launch. They have to have a strong launch. But I think that I think PlayStation's going to have a really strong launch. But you talking about dropping out some bangers, then you're going to have my attention, but I'm still going to be like, damn, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know what I'm saying? And those games will still probably drop on the 5. So, and I'm sure it's a couple of those games that'll catch my interest will drop on PC, because they won't all be like first party. There'll be some kind of exclusive, but they won't be first party. So, and I can still get to play them on PC. So that's the thing right there. It's going to be, it's up to the people. It's up to you. It is up to you. They say Husky said they want consumers and not gamers. That's right. They don't we're relevant. If you haven't seen how things is being moved right now in the gaming space, especially on PC, I feel bad for the PC community. Like, I mean, I you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen the greatness of what PC can provide by having a strong build. I see the benefit in it, but PC gamers that just straight just PC gamers, like, man, they're getting highly disrespected, you know. So and it looked like the console space is trying to do the same thing, you know. And I mean, listen, I knew when they were bringing up about the $100 games for Grand Theft Auto 6, and it was just like what I said yesterday on my thoughts. I was like, you know, they're really going to push this, and there's going to be some executive somewhere that's going to be stupid enough to think that their game is worth $100 and not understand Grand Theft Auto is one of one. You know what I'm saying? Just like Zelda is one of one. You know, Halo used to be one of one, but still, it's still relevant. You know, Forza is one of one. You know, I don't even know if Gran Turismo is one of one anymore. Like, I mean, it's kind of like, to me, in that same ilk of what Halo has kind of gotten into. Gears is up there. It could be one of one. But even when you say those other games, God of War, one of one. But even when you say those games' names, you ask for $100 Gears of War. You ask for $100 God of War. You ask for $100 Halo, or $100 Gran Turismo, or $100. Let's say they're bringing a new Infamous. It ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. You have to. If you can't do a standard. You can't do what Take Two did with Rockstar. What Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto 6. They can't do it. You can't say a standard game, or a game that has features that's locked in under the standard game. We're just going to charge you $100. You know what I'm saying? So they can open those features. People will act a damn fool. No, it doesn't matter about what the name is. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's only, I would say, 2-3 games overall that has that type of swag to do that, which is Grand Theft Auto. And I don't know. You guys got to tell me what the other two can be. What? I'm over here trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if as much as I love The Witcher, you try to hit me across the head with $100 version, and the $80 version is held back, and I got to unlock the stuff from the original version of the game, but I got to pay $20 extra for it. It's not happening. It's not fucking happening. It's not happening. So I don't know, but you're right, and this is where I could see it. I could see it. Like, Sony could be one of the first ones to try it. It could be EA could be one of the first ones to try it. I know we already know that Xbox tried to do it, and they had to back the hell up on that when they did Outer Worlds 2. And again, Outer Worlds 2 didn't really sell very well from the indications of what they talked about earlier this year, which is unfortunate. It's a dope ass game. But again, just think if they was trying to get $80, how much worse the sales would have been for that. So yeah, we just gotta be more cognizant of what's going on here. But yeah, they're looking for consumers. They're looking for people to sit there and just say, listen, I'm just going to throw this money on here because of the FOMO or whatever the case may be. I think that the gaming industry is going to be sadly mistaken. I mean, hell, if people ain't going to McDonald's and you know what I'm saying? Like, and making McDonald's over here make moves, I think this gaming industry better start understanding, like, people ain't going to start buying your games. Then what you do is that you only make everything repetitive. The age of creative freedom is over, because the only games that will be brought up is the games that is surefire sellers. So for you to hate COD and you hate the Maddens and the NBA 2Ks, we'll just say all the sports games, and for the people that hates a Battlefield and the bro shooters and this like that, too bad. And the free to plays, the people that hate that, too bad, because that's what the industry is going to turn to. If the people keep on allowing this to happen, then this is what this is going to happen, and then we might not get another Expedition 33. That's a gem that comes out to be a phenomenal masterpiece. You know, like, I mean, so how many God of Wars can you make before people will say, okay, you know what, I've seen that. I need something else. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm cool on them going and doing spinoffs with God of War, something that I've been saying that Halo needs to do. So, hopefully Gears will do that. Hopefully other games will. I mean, like, you see what Forza did. Forza had Motorsport, then they made Horizon, and now look at that. Like, Motorsport isn't the forefront. Horizon is now, but still, you still have Motorsport. And if they want to make another spinoff out of something between those two, then do that as well. Like, I mean, that's great, but we keep accepting this stuff as it is. That type of thought process of wanting to try to come in and bring something different and unique isn't going to fly. It's just not going to fly. Even, and what's the sad part about it is, let's say that indie studios, there's tons of them that goes out and they'll try to make these games. But if they don't sell, then the next thing you know, they close down or they got a whole bunch of layoffs. And, it's a real crazy situation. There's a lot of gamers that talks about that they want all this creative freedom, but when there's some certain games that drop, they're not showing that love to them, and here we are. So I don't know. It's definitely a catch-22. So anyway, like I said, guys, I didn't want to be too long on this stream on this one. I thought about wanting to do Fight Night tonight, but I will do Fight Night tomorrow because tomorrow's Thursday. And so I usually do Fight Night on Thursdays as it is. So we'll wait to do that tomorrow. But yeah, I wanted to catch up, talk about a couple of more of these topics. If there's any other crazy news that drops or whatever, then, I might do an emergency stream or something like that. Unless it's like some crazy news that needs time to fester, because I've made it clear I kind of like to wait to see how things play out instead of just going off of rumors. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, if you like the content, man, really do appreciate you guys would go ahead and hit that follow button, that like button, that subscribe button. Always like to hear your comments. Once you listen to it afterwards or whatever, definitely do that. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys for coming through as usual. We'll see you guys here soon. Tomorrow we'll be playing some more Token, and you know what I'm saying? If I'm really in the mood for a long session, we'll play some Token and maybe some Street Fighter or some Token and some Dragon Ball Z Spark and Zero, because I need to play with some of those new, I guess, modes for the latest DLC that dropped. So, all right, guys, I will catch you guys here tomorrow. Everybody have a good one. Have a great night. Peace.